The zombies eating kids in school evolved from apps on their smartphones. And the one kid bullied for not having a phone just learned the first rule of survival in hell. Even before the world collapsed, Rikudo's life was already a broken game. Look, rooftop edge, one step away from ending it all. Bullied at school, abused at home. The entire world seemed designed to grind him into dust. Home, it was hell. His adoptive parents treated him as a free punching bag and a servant. Every insult, every kick carved a single message into his soul. Your very existence is a sin. A so-called brother? Just another piece of human garbage. A fake apology, followed by paint thrown in his face, then the smug line. Aren't I kind? Rikudo's daily life. Humiliation forced down his throat with a side order of gratitude. School was no better. His desk scribbled with dye. Classmates treating him like air. Teachers blaming him for everything. Everyone saw him as worthless background noise, a disposable mob character to be stepped on. He fought back once, cornered by thugs demanding money. His pent-up rage exploded. But what did it get him? A worse beating. Lying in the dirt, bleeding his final thought. Life is so shitty. Even moments before the judgment, he remained the bottom-tier trash. Bully Takada accidentally stomps his only semi-valuable phone, then offers a slimy, fake apology. Even despair had awaited its turn behind these clowns. But this world had real powerhouses too, like Nishituya, taking down a whole gang solo like it was nothing. Nishi and Rikudo lived in different worlds, one crushed by the world, the other making the world bow. Some were curious about him. Why could he keep standing after a beating like that? Was he unconsciously dodging? Rikudo didn't know the answer himself. He was just accustomed to enduring. But no matter how much he fooled himself, the present was here. Sunshine, campus, daily life, it all seemed peaceful. But the countdown in Rikudo's heart had hit zero. Fists clenched, he stood at a fork in the road of fate. Tired. So damn tired. Phone shattered. Last shred of hope gone. He gripped the fence, screamed his final words at this shitty game. I quit. And he jumped. The moment he fell, Judgment Day arrived. Phones worldwide exploded simultaneously. The sky tore open. Above the city, a tidal wave of data crashed down like an apocalyptic storm. Rikudo's phone was already broken, so he wasn't directly hit by that bizarre lightning. He crashed onto a fence, staring in horror at the sky. Clear weather? Lightning? What the hell is going on? The answer came swiftly. Not lightning, but the gates of hell. Phones became monsters. Data materialized in reality. Goblins, orcs, even a dragon. They ripped through the sky and descended on the school. The massacre began. Rikudo's mind shattered. His bullies, the trash who tormented him moments ago, were being torn apart by monsters. Blood, viscera, screams. Is this real? How can this possibly be real? This wasn't a dream. It was raw, unabashed hell. Armies of monsters ravaged the city, corpses piled high. The world's population, less than a tenth remained. The judgment wasn't a metaphor. Hours later, days, time lost all meaning. Rikudo sat on the rubble, dead silence around him. Monsters came from phones? This is reality? Survivors named that day, the day of judgment. And Rikudo, the loser who almost offed himself before the judgment, stared blankly at the crimson sky and asked, am I really alive? In the chaos, Rikudo's mind snapped. Watching people die one after another, he actually laughed. Right? I already jumped and died. This is just a long, drawn-out nightmare before death. A twisted sense of pleasure even flickered within him. All those people who looked down on me, treated me like trash, look at you now, turned into literal garbage. Serves you right. All of you just die. But the next scene shattered that pathetic pleasure. A huge minotaur cleaved an innocent person in two. This isn't a dream. A dream can't be this real, this brutal. Rikudo broke. Kneeling, head in hands, he screamed, enough. How long is this dream gonna last? Just let me die. My life is shit. A small voice inside whispered. My parents, are they really gone? He tried to convince himself to be numb. Everyone around me is trash, even that shitty brother. Nothing matters. I don't care about anything. Then why does it hurt so much? When he witnessed a monster brutally hack another monster to death with an axe, his final mental barricade crumbled. On his knees, tears streaming, he begged, please, if this is a dream, let me wake up. Bam! The door behind him shattered. Rikudo whirled around, and down below, on the sports field, a green goblin raised its weapon over a fallen girl. This is not a dream. This is, overwhelmingly, absolutely reality. His body moved before his mind. Rikudo charged down. But how could a high schooler fight a monster? He was swatted like a fly, slammed into a wire fence, ribs cracking, blood gushing from his mouth. I'm gonna die. Watching the girl about to be killed, staring at the monster's snarling face. Rikudo's mind went blank, only one thought screaming. And no, not like this. This is death. Am I going to die a worthless death like this? At death's door, that voice spoke again. You wanted to end this shitty game, right? The world is shit. Nobody cares if I die. But, he saw a different death, being ripped apart by monsters. That death is too pathetic. I don't want to die. He grabbed an iron pipe, screaming with his last bit of strength. The monster lunged again. This time his eyes changed. Not fear, not despair, but a manic, razor-sharp focus. Knowing what real, ugly death looks like, who in their right mind would want it? I never wanted to die in the first place. You stupid monsters, get the hell away from me. In that second, Rikudo entered the legendary zone. His mind hyper-focused, the world slowed down, every flaw in the monster's movement crystal clear. Human potential, ignited on the edge of life and death. Rikudo rises from blood. The fight isn't over. This is it. He's entered the zone. Instinct takes over. Every dodge, every counterattack is perfect. Violence is his algorithm now. One green monster down. Rikudo pants heavily, surrounded by gore. The world's gone mad, but he's won his first round. Little does he know, the real madness is just beginning. In the pouring rain, he screams into the ruins. Abandoned, bullied, this shitty life. Then, the memories flash. Screw that fake past. I want to live. I want to live for real. Standing over a monster's corpse, Rikudo pants out the truth. From the bottom of my heart, I don't want to die. His grip tightens, eyes change. Damn, it's wonderful to be alive. Blurry consciousness, someone's calling him. It's Nishikata from class. Seeing Rikudo covered in blood, Nishi thought he was a goner. Fate's gears, connected by a broken phone, begin to turn. No time for reunions. The survivors outside witness hell itself. The city burns, monsters roar. Coach Uyama puts on a brave face. I'll protect you all. As if he could even save himself. The school exits are barricaded with planks and bricks. They're trapped. The flashback hits. Monsters swarming, students stampeding for the roof, but so many got left behind. A hellscape of corpses lies just inside. But deep inside the ruins, more desperate cries echo. Students are trapped on a staircase, monsters closing in. They pound on the sealed door, begging to be let in. Someone weakens, but rule number one. Opening that door lets the horde in too. Open it or not. Those outside are also cornered. The horde is right on top of us. Wait, there's still. In that split second, a bloody hand bursts from the rubble. Flashback. An orange-haired boy in ruins, hunted by black-clad figures, screaming, stay away. Fear. Despair. A plea for help, then a pink-purple blast consumes him. Back to reality, Nishi clutches his head in agony. Back then, I just wanted to live. I didn't want to open that door. The survivor's first sin is born. Nishi tries to comfort Rikudo. It's not your fault. Nobody wants to die like that. But what good is guilt? Suddenly, a voice booms. Gather round, everyone. A new leader makes his entrance. First, let's assess the situation. It's Saito, the elite student. Around noon, monsters emerge from smartphones, right? Everyone nods. But when Kuju tries to use her phone, it's dead? Impossible. Every functional phone died simultaneously. Except for Rikudo's crushed one. Despair spreads. Mine's dead too. Mine's smashed. Damn it. We can't even call for help. These students on the roof are now castaways in an information blackout. The only clue? The shattered screen in Rikudo's hand. Rikudo stares at his broken phone. Monsters came from phones, then the phones died. Could be connected. At least, no monster came from mine. Why? Because it's broken? Nearby, Coach Uyama snaps. This is getting us nowhere. We maintain the status quo. The classic coward's line. But Saito shatters the illusion. If monsters came from phones, what's the city like? The world? Police? The military? They're overwhelmed. His cold words douse their last hope. Die waiting or die trying. Tension thickens. Takeda, the old bully, grabs Rikudo's collar. You think you can order me around, mob? Rikudo's eyes are ice. One thought occupies him. This idiot has no idea he's standing at the gates of hell. Conflict escalates. Takeda mocks Nishi for being a yappy chihuahua. But then, a dark presence arrives. Saito, just standing there, he feels less like a person and more like a monster in a human suit, his aura suffocating. An image of a roaring green demon flashes, and Sata's power erupts. He's just annoyed, but that's enough. An invisible force slams Takeda to the ground in agony. as if his soul's been crushed. This elite is hiding something monstrous. Takeda tries to swing. Nishi rushes to stop him, but Rikudo moves. He catches the fist. Who do you think you're talking to? With Nishi, it's a 1-2 combo. Elbow strike, shoulder throw. Bam! Schoolyard bullying is crushed by Apocalypse rules. Rikudo pins Takeda underfoot. All that past fear evaporates. Why was I ever scared of this guy? But just as he's about to finish it, a hand grabs him. Saito. The tables turn instantly. Rikudo is pinned by Saito, can't break free. That's enough. Nishi yells, knocking Takeda out. He glances at Rikudo, a chill running down his spine. This guy, he was really going for the kill. Chaos is temporarily quelled. Nishi and the cowardly coach Uyama mediate. Let bygones be bygones. Survival comes first. But one look at Seida's eyes tells you, this isn't over. A new meeting begins with a brutal agenda. The roof has no supplies. Rescue is a pipe dream. They must risk entering the school, building for food, weapons, a way out. Saito is the first to object. Monsters are everywhere out there. Suicide. The students are divided. Wait to die, or go out and die. In the end, the pressure falls on the two weakest links. Kirigane, Takeda, you two go scout the building. See? The power games begin, even in the apocalypse. Cowardly coach Uyama hides behind the students. I must stay and protect everyone. Others immediately egg him on. Yeah, you two are men, get going. Rikudo snaps. You fuckers. No more words. Rikudo swings his pipe at the barricade of rubble. Oi, Kirigane. Nishi watches in shock. But Rikudo knows, staying put is a death sentence. He lays it out coldly for everyone. We'll starve, or become monster chow. Either way, we die. Then he turns, eyes steely. I don't want to die. I refuse. So we have to move. The will to survive ignited. Then, Nishi steps up beside him, slinging on his gear bag. Count me in, he says. There might still be survivors inside. A true comrade emerges. The girls scream for them to stop, but Nishi and Rikudo are already walking side by side into the dark. Hypocrite, Rikudo mutters. He's totally a chihuahua. Nishi thinks with a wry grin. The Apocalypse scouting team is born. Before stepping into the ruined shadow, Rikudo confesses to Nishi, I'm terrified, but I have a reason not to die. Images of the classroom carnage flash. I won't die in a place like that. Nishi grins. You're pretty reliable. Their names are exchanged in the apocalypse for the first time. Kirigane Rikudo. Nishikata. Let's do this. Hell's exploration begins now. A piercing scream cuts through the silence from the end of the dark corridor. Rikudo and Nishi exchange a glance. It's Tachibana Kodon. They sprint towards the sound, past the debris and bloodstains. With each step, the dread grows stronger. This isn't just a nightmare. It's a hell they must face. Reaching the scene, Nishi's face goes pale. Kodon is pinned in a corner by a hulking ogre wielding a giant axe, frozen in terror. This monster is on a completely different level from the small fry they've faced before. Keep calm. Rikudo forces his mind to work. A head-on fight is suicide. His eyes dart to a fire extinguisher in the hallway. Got it. Nishi, cover me. The plan is. Without a moment to lose, Rikudo dashes out, drawing the ogre's attention. Over here, ugly. The monster takes the bait, roaring as it swings its axe down at him. At the last second, drawing on a muscle memory from his old kendo training, Rikudo barely parries the strike with a metal pipe, his hands going numb from the impact. Now, the moment Rikudo distracts the beast, Nishi appears from the high ground, bowstring drawn taut. He uses their secret weapon, an arrow wrapped in a cloth soaked with anhydrous alcohol. Holding his breath, he lets it fly. Direct hit. The flaming arrow lodges deep in the ogre's most vulnerable eye. Gra! The monster unleashes an ear-splitting roar as flames erupt instantly. The fire is working. The creature thrashes in agony, its movements slowing. Seizing the opening, Rikudo rushes in and drives a sharpened pipe into its other eye with all his might. This is for our survival. The behemoth crashes to the ground. Rikudo and Nishi gasp for air, drenched in sweat. They did it. In this real-life hell, as ordinary humans with no levels or cheat skills, they fought tooth and nail and won their first real, brutal battle. With the immediate crisis over, Nishi looks at Rikudo with a complicated expression. That skill, you've definitely trained before. But Rikudo flinches, the humiliating memory of being bullied into abandoning kendo, stabbing at him like needles. Drop it. They help the trembling Tachibana Kodon to her feet. She looks at Rikudo, tears of gratitude welling up at having been saved. Silently, he offers her his jacket. In this apocalypse, a small kindness like this feels more precious than diamonds. Back at the rooftop base, an aura of victory surrounds Rikudo. But in a dark corner, Saito, Koton's fiancé, stares daggers at the scene. His face is a mask of fury, knuckles turning white. How dare this former loser become the hero? How dare he receive his woman's gaze? Jealousy gnaws at Sato's heart like a venomous snake. He can't take it anymore. He strides forward and grabs Koton's wrist. Come with me. Stay away from him. His voice is icy, dripping with possession. Startled by his roughness, Koton instinctively pulls back and struggles. This reaction is like pouring gasoline on Sato's rage. How dare you defy me? Slap. A sharp, loud sound echoes across the rooftop as he strikes her cheek. A deadly silence falls. Saito, the former polite elite, has completely shed his disguise under the pressure of the apocalypse, revealing the true face of a controlling, violent abuser. Rikudo's eyes instantly turn as cold as ice. He wants to rush forward, but Nishi holds him back. Don't be rash. A fight among us now means death for everyone. But Rikudo's fist clenches as he looks at the crying Koton, his knuckles going white. Sometimes, human hearts are more terrifying than monsters. The seeds of conflict have been sown, and the crisis for survival is far from over. Food and water are nearly gone. Their remaining adult, Uyama-sensei, paralyzed by fear, insists everyone hunker down and wait for rescue in this so-called safe house, waiting for death. Rikudo and Nishi know they can't wait any longer. They argue their case, proposing a risky expedition to a discount store outside the school for supplies. Waiting to die isn't survival, it's slow suicide. Rikudo's voice is resolute. Just as the argument reaches its peak and the tension is thick enough to cut, a blood-curdling scream erupts from the ventilation shaft. Help! A blue, slimy slime monster squirms out, wrapping itself around a teacher. This place isn't safe either. The most brutal reality delivers the loudest slap to Uyama-sensei's safety theory. Rikudo reacts the fastest, using a torch to drive back the slime. The immediate crisis is averted, but panic has already spread. Everyone, including the previously stubborn Uyama-sensei, understands now. There's no absolute safety, only proactive survival. Faced with overwhelming fear and the primal instinct to live, the vote is unanimous. The majority stands with Rikudo. A far more dangerous, unknown expedition beyond the school walls is decided. A new survival challenge begins. The team sets out quietly, Rikudo and Nishi leading the way. They don't know what lies beyond the school gates. More monsters, other survivors, or deeper despair. But one thing is certain. The time of sitting and waiting is over. Crossing the empty, silent schoolyard, the street outside feels like the maw of a silent beast. Every step is taken on the foundation of unknown terror. Rikudo glances back at a tiny figure on the rooftop, Koton watching them leave. That is one of the reasons he has to make it back alive. Meanwhile, back on the rooftop, Saito watches Rikudo's retreating figure with eyes dark enough to drip venom. Here again, Rikudo, just you wait. The game of power, the poison of human nature, is quietly fermenting in this apocalyptic crucible. A new chapter, mingling both hope and deeper peril, officially turns its first page. Will their destinies lead? End of Act 1. The deadly struggle before dawn. An even darker storm is brewing deep within the ruins of the city. Stay tuned for the next act, the survival frontline, into the discount store. Survival is a one-way journey from which there is no return. This so-called shelter is just a slower death sentence now. Food's running low, parts are scarce. Rikudo won't wait to die. But their teacher, Uyama, his fear is a tyrant, clinging to the lie of rescue. A furious standoff erupts. Just as the shouting match peaks, bang, real horror crashes the party. A goopy blue slime monster drops from a vent, dissolving a teacher alive in front of everyone. Safe? The hell it is. Rikudo moves faster than fear itself, torching it back. Despair is the deadliest lesson, and the class just got it loud and clear. The monster's out, but the illusion of safety is shattered. The teacher's authority turned to dust. All eyes in the room now lock onto Rikudo. His insane plan, to race a school bus into the monster-ridden city for supplies, becomes their only hope. A 6-person suicide squad is formed. Rikudo leads, with Nishi as his scout and archer. Kuju brings the brains and crucial supplies. Surprisingly, Koton claims the driver's seat. And then there's Saito, the guy whose resentment for Rikudo feels more dangerous than the monsters outside. The engine roars. The last school bus in hell is on the move. Familiar streets are now pure insanity. Blazing rubble, twisted flesh. They use the bus itself as a battering ram, smashing through anything in their path. Every impact jolts their souls. The air inside the bus is thicker than the smog outside. Seida's voice is a constant, venomous drip, needling Rikudo every chance he gets. Rikudo ignores it, but the rest can taste the coming storm. The true enemy might be riding with them. Target in sight. The discount store, still standing, but its doors are shut tight like a dark maw. Nobody knows what's inside, but everyone knows what's outside: death. There's no turning back now. The door gives way to silence. The smell of decay and dust hits them. Shelves are toppled, but loot remains. Food, parts, hope. Yet the silence is heavy, wrong. Every rustle makes Nishi's aim flinch. This piece is a lie waiting to break. They scatter like frantic ghouls, ransacking the shelves. Rikudo keeps watch, nerves frayed. Kuju's hands are a blur, snatching specific electronic parts. Speed is life now. Every second they linger in this tomb is a gamble with death. Supplies secured, time to go. They think they've made it. But Rikudo freezes, his head snapping toward the warehouse depths. Something's wrong. His ears catch it, a faint, skittering sound where there should be none. A sharp gesture for silence. Rikudo raises a makeshift weapon. What is that? Rats? Or, suddenly, a heavy thud echoes from behind a shelf. Everyone freezes, then arms themselves in a second. The store's got more than just inventory. Their shopping trip just got crashed. It oozes out of the dark. Not a slime. Something worse. A writhing mass of tentacles and unblinking, lidless eyes. Kodon stifles a scream. Even Seida's face drains of color. It's watching them. It's hungry. Move! Rikudo's order cracks the air. They scramble for the exit, supplies abandoned. But the thing is shockingly fast. A rubbery tentacle whips out, aiming straight for Saito, who's lagging just a step behind. Not fast enough. An arrow from Nishi goes wide. Acting on pure instinct, Rikudo spins, swinging his metal pole in a brutal arc. The tentacle is sheared, spewing foul goo. Saito stumbles, safe, but the look he gives Rikudo holds no gratitude. Only deeper resentment. In now, bang. Door slam. Kodon slams the gas, tires shrieking. They leave the horror behind in the dust. First round survived. But Rikudo knows this is just a prologue. Saito is a bomb waiting for spark. And somewhere in the city's heart, something much bigger might have just been roused by their noise. The ride back is heavier, quieter. They clutch their loot, these scraps of hope, but the weight in their chests is worse than before. They got the supplies, but they also rang a dinner bell for hell. Will luck be on their side next time? Just as Rikudo thinks the tension can't get worse, Saito finally speaks. His voice is a cold, cutting whisper that echoes in the bus. Feeling good, Black Iron? The great savior again. The last, frayed thread of their fragile alliance snaps. Rikudo doesn't rise to it. But in the rear view, Nishi silently, surely, draws an arrow, its tip aimed at the base of Seida's skull. Trust is dead. In this world of monsters, the one sitting next to you might be the most dangerous of all. The bus races back to the school under a blood-red sunset. The battle for supplies is over, but the war for their humanity is just starting. And inside those familiar walls, what awaits them? The teacher's false smile? Or a new kind of betrayal? Already brewing? Engine off. The madness is on pause. Rikudo steps out, holding the life-saving cargo aloft, met by the desperate eyes of the survivors. But deep down, he knows the hard truth. This mission didn't save them. It just moved them from one death trap into a far more dangerous game. Round 1 is fight or flight. Round 2 is about to begin. Supplies are doled out. A fragile calm descends. But Rikudo retreats to a corner, his expression grim. He unfolds a tattered map he'd grabbed, his finger tracing a heavily red-circled area. Mythology Research Institute. That's the epicenter. His gut screams it. All this fighting for scraps is pointless if they don't find the source. The real war isn't for survival. It's for answers. Across the room, Saito watches Rikudo from the shadows, a festering jealousy twisting his gut. Why him? The weakling, the punching bag, now everyone's savior. He needs it. Needs a power so overwhelming it will make Rikudo and everyone else grovel at his feet. The seed of a dark deal is sown. A terrible whisper from a system called Myth Summon starts to sound tempting. Night falls, but sleep is a joke. Rikudo pretends to rest, senses on high alert. He hears Nishi meticulously cleaning his bow in a corner, Kuju fiddling with parts. And then, he hears it. Saito, in the dark. A choked, weirdly gleeful chuckle, the faint glow of a phone screen illuminating a face twisted by dark promise. Just before dawn, in the darkest hour, bang, 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 alarms shriek. But it's not monsters this time. A furious, human voice roars from outside the school gate, punctuated by heavy impacts. Open up. Hand over all your food now. The survivors scatter, freshly scarred, nerve shattering. Rikudo is first to the window, weapon in hand. Outside stands a new enemy, the most vicious kind yet, desperate, armed humans looking for an easy score. Teacher Uyama is a trembling heap, useless. Nishi has an arrow knocked and drawn. Rikudo takes a deep, shuddering breath. Killing monsters is one thing. Killing people? He looks at his terrified friends. The choice is his now. Open the door, try to talk, or turn these hungry men outside into corpses? Every decision in hell is a choice between two evils. Rikudo braces against the door, mind racing. Fight. They're low on ammo. Talk. Those men outside are beyond reason. An impossible choice until a hesitant hand touches his shoulder. Kodon. She looks terrified, but there's a steel in her eyes now. She has an idea, but what could a girl like her possibly do? Kodon picks up a portable speaker and an old walkie-talkie from their scavenge pile. Let me try, she whispers, her voice shaky but determined. Before anyone can stop her, she points the speaker out the window, takes a final breath, and hits play. A shrieking, soul-scraping blast of high-frequency noise explodes into the night. The noise is pure agony, but not for them. The armed men outside scream, clutching their ears, collapsing in pain. What they don't know is that some of the monsters spawned from the phones are drawn to, or enraged by, certain sonic frequencies. Kodon just made the perfect bait for a different kind of predator. A chorus of furious roars answers from the darkness. Run! Now! Rikudo shouts through the window. The would-be raiders scramble to their feet, sheer terror overriding greed, disappearing into the night, chased by lumbering, unseen shapes. The immediate threat is gone. Repelled by horror, they unleash themselves. The survivors turn to stare at Kodon. The quiet, bullied girl just commanded a horde. Her evolution is terrifying and awe-inspiring. Dawn approaches, casting gray light. Kodon slumps against the wall, shivering from the adrenaline crash. She did it. She protected them. Rikudo walks over, silently handing her a bottle of water. No words are needed. The look they share says it all. Trust, respect, partnership. In this hellscape, everyone finds their weapon. But the new light doesn't bring peace. It only illuminates the next, deeper layer of darkness waiting to consume them all. Nishi's backup has arrived. This dude's got serious skills with a bow. The ogre that was just dominating the fight is now screaming in pain, clutching its head from a pinpoint shot. The sharpshooter is here. Kodon is screaming in fear, but Rikudo, he actually gets back up after being sent flying. He glares at the demon with death in his eyes, muttering, "It's all right. There's no longer any need to." What does that mean? Is he planning to go all out? Nishi's move is absolutely epic. The demon gets pierced through with a blue energy arrow, writhing in agony. A true professional never misses. 10 minutes later, inside the school building, Rikudo hands Nishi a small, glowing device. Hey, isn't that the thing Sakura gave them before they entered? Looks like they're gearing up for a major counterattack. Here's the plan. Rikudo explains, we have 100% pure, undiluted ethanol, the stuff used in chemistry labs. Nishi is stunned. That girl carries that around? But Rikudo's plan is even wilder. We'll attach this to your arrow and shove it directly into that monster. Wait, so they're going to make it drink itself to death. Perfect theory. Pure alcohol is a deadly poison to virtually any organism. But the problem hits immediately. A thin needle won't pierce that monster's tough skin. It sounds logical in theory, but execution-wise, it's just armchair science. Rikudo points it out directly. The eye. Aim for its eye. Nishi is shocked. How can you be so sure? Rikudo smirks and picks up a nearby fire extinguisher. Obviously, I'll confirm it. With this is insane. He's going to spray the monster's face. If it flinches and covers its eyes, bingo. The weak point is confirmed. Rikudo grins at Nishi. Simple plan, right? I'll draw it out, and you finish it off. Nishi stares at this crazy man ready to bait the monster himself. His inner monologue screams, "Geez, Rikudo, you crazy bastard." The plan works. Rikudo gives the signal, and Nishi seizes the moment, firing multiple arrows in quick succession. The weak point is the eye. Nishi cracks a champion smile. Dead center. 10 points. An arrow lodges perfectly into the monster's eye socket. The monster howls in agony. The alcohol is taking effect. But Nishi was right. it's a slow poison, not quick death. The danger is far from over. The situation turns on a dime. Rikudo is caught. The monster uses him as a human shield and literally bites into the back of his head, rushing forward. Nishi can only watch from a distance, horrified. Crushed by the monster's immense strength, blood trickling from his mouth, Rikudo grits his teeth. Just a bit further. He's desperately trying to use himself as the final bait to lure the monster into position. Nishi roars in despair. And then, an unknown attack strikes from the side. The monster is hit hard, screaming in agony. Is it backup? Who is it? Victory? Sort of. Rikudo and Nishi lean against a shattered wall, supporting each other, panting heavily. They made it out by the skin of their teeth. At a distance, Kodon spots them, her face a mixture of shock and deep concern. Back in their safe spot, the adrenaline crash hits Nishi hard. He yells at Rikudo, "You really are out of your mind." But Rikudo just grins and fires back. "You, miss. National tournament first place." Nishi is left speechless. This guy is insane, but his trust is absolute. Alone in the hallway's twilight, Koton is drowning in guilt. She believes it's all over, that she's cursed. But then, Kirigane Rikudo finds her. He doesn't see the damaged girl everyone else sees. He looks at her and calls her a hero. In that one word, a crack of light splits her world open. The warm hallway erupts into chaos. Masquerading as the hero, Saito smiles to your face while kicking your allies across the floor. Kodon's world shatters. And then it gets worse. Rikudo buckles, his body racked with searing blue energy. The polite facade crumbles, revealing Saito's true fangs. The verbal daggers fly. Saito postures, painting Rikudo as a coward who pushes his dirty work onto others, specifically Kodon. But Rikudo snaps back. Who forced her? The one who's too cowardly to do the dirty work himself. Saito, the shame is yours. A comforting facade, a lethal manipulation. Saito tries to use the debt of rescue to leash Kodon. But she's done. She sees right through the pretty words. It's just another form of control. Furious, she chooses nuclear option, expose him to everyone. Rikudo's reputation is on the line. The storm breaks. Kodon's public accusation detonates among the survivors. Rikudo is instantly isolated, bombarded by suspicion and scorn. And Saito stands by, savoring his victory with a cold, mocking laugh. Look at the lowlife bluff. Their fragile alliance shatters into a million pieces. Saito drops the mask completely. He yanks Kodon away, commanding her to never see Rikudo again. She's still processing when, smack asterisk, he doesn't waste time with words. Saito attacks Rikudo directly, a brutal physical strike to enforce his order. Kodon explodes. She throws it all in Saito's face. Their relationship? A cage built by their family, not love. It's over. She walks away without a second glance, leaving the perfect elite student shattered and screaming in the hallway, his entire world crumbling. Memory and reality collide. That rainy night, when Rikudo fought to save others to Saito, it was proof of a selfish coward sacrificing comrades. His warped jealousy over the respect Rikudo earned in hell festers into pure hatred, sharpening into a blade. The real nightmare begins. Kodon drags a bewildered Saito towards the roof in a desperate sprint. The monsters aren't the only threat now. A deeper dread chills her. Her last hope is the man she just condemned, and the footsteps chasing them are getting dangerously close. Betrayal, the deepest fear realized. It wasn't a monster that tripped Kodon. It was Saito. To save himself, he kicked her towards the advancing horror. The true ugliness is human, and as she falls, the real monster finally unveils its fangs. A flash of steel. Despair. Kodon is on the floor, a deadly crimson slash aimed right at her. Her final scream, "I don't want to die." And then, a shadow and a cloak materializes between her and death itself. Kirigane Rikudo has arrived. Kodon's heart breaks. Looking at Saito's pathetic excuses, the final illusion shatters. "We were never meant to be. Please, just forget me." Her words are the death knell for Saito's world. He reaches out, but his hands close only on emptiness and a howl of anguish. Meltdown. The last shred of Saito's dignity is ripped away. The accusation, "You have a thing for him, don't you?" detonates his twisted jealousy and possessiveness. "You just shut your mouth and do what I tell you." The elite is gone. All that remains is a rage-filled animal. Wars, old and new, ignite. Saito zeroes in on Rikudo, dragging up his past as a bullied victim to humiliate him in front of everyone. What? Just because all your bullies died, you think you're better now? Rikudo's gaze turns to absolute ice. All gloves are off. Seita's insults grow venomous. Gloomy bottom dweller. Worthless. But Rikudo stays eerily calm. He just asks, "Who is this mudslinging campaign really against?" That's it. The model student explodes. "How dare a failure like you lecture me?" A fighter's instinct takes over. Faced with Seita's aggression, Rikudo drops into a karate stance. Seita's eyes widen in shock. This kid can fight? But Rikudo backs down. Fighting won't fix a twisted heart. It's a rational choice, but it tragically underestimates the depths of Seita's depravity. The true despair arrives from behind. Seita's hatred for Rikudo peaks as he threatens those close to him. And then it happens. Purple energy erupts. A spectral, white-haired woman materializes from Seita's hand. This isn't just rage anymore. The villain has just gained supernatural power. The Survival Summit. Nishi, as their voice, lays out the brutal math for the survivors. Food for 3 days. Zero contact with the outside. No intel. Waiting is just a slow death. The air in the room becomes thick with the gravity of their situation. They're out of resources and options. Weapons are a joke. Pipes and bats. Nishi bluntly admits they're screwed. But then, the glimmer. Kuju, the bizarre blonde genius. She mumbles she can probably repair Rikudo's phone, the one that wasn't fried because it was already broken. Every jaw in the room drops. All their hope hangs on one broken phone. Fix it, get online, maybe find rescue or intel. The irony is thick. They're thanking the bully Takeda for crushing it in the first place. But the teacher, Uyama, watches with growing terror. He's not on board. A storm is brewing. The truth Kuju reveals is chilling. It's not a coincidence. When the monsters appeared, every device capable of connecting to the internet was simultaneously and mysteriously fried. It makes no scientific sense. In Rikudo's already broken phone, it's the only possible exception, their only chance to reconnect in a world suddenly forced offline. Plan of action. Hit the discount store, AO nearby for repair tools and supplies. Nishi is still working through the logistics, but Rikudo's mind is already made up. Outside, the cityscape is marred by a distant, ominous red explosion. A grim reminder that the world beyond their walls is a living hell. Uyama-sensei is the first to scream in "Oh, it's too dangerous. Monsters everywhere. We must wait for rescue here." But Rikudo shuts that down with cold logic. Stay here, and we die slowly anyway. It's despair through inaction, or despair through action. The battle lines are drawn. Go by car. It's the only semi-safe plan. But when they ask Uyama to drive, he totally freaks. Sweating, ears bleeding from stress, he screams his denial. And oh, he's needed here to protect everyone. His fear isn't just caution, it's tipping into outright mania. Game changer. Kodon stands up. "I'll drive." The room freezes. Kodon, she calmly explains driving her grandpa's farm truck as a kid. The girl everyone overlooks delivers the crucial key. Nishi can only stare in disbelief. "So you're a tomboy at heart?" Saito tries to derail it again, shouting at Kodon to stay out of it. But her resolve is steel. Rikudo looks straight at her, delivering the final, grim warning. It's a death zone out there. A car is no safe haven. He and Nishi might fail to protect her. Knowing that, is she still in? Rikudo's confession. He's just as afraid of dying, more afraid of rotting in ignorance. Kodon's desperate cry to try anyway is the spark he needs. Understood. He makes the call. But this defiance instantly triggers the wrath of the self-appointed leader in the room. Uyama-sensei goes full dictator. Wielding teacher's responsibility in this safe place like a club, he shrieks for everyone to stay put and obey. Anyone who questions is just a brat taking command. Under his hysterical roar, the fragile flame of survival initiative is about to be smothered by pure tyranny. Rikudo challenges authority head-on. He scoffs at the pathetic stockpiles of water, turning his cold gaze on Uyama. "Do you really think common sense applies to those things?" "This safe place," he begins, just as lethal ice crystals burst from the floor. The illusion of safety shatters in an instant. Judgment arrives. The student who preached safety the loudest is seized by viscous blue liquid, lifted, and strangled in midair. Uyama's safe haven is a lethal lie. Rikudo charges into the chaos, his attack a declaration of his new reality. Waiting gets you killed. In this world, there are no safe places left. Right out the gate, it's hell mode. Rikudo gets impaled by a giant ice spike. This isn't an outing, it's a suicide run from minute one. Another teammate is down. A goo-like monster wraps around him, cutting off his air. Rikudo's mind is reeling. Do these monsters even follow the rules? Wait, the clothes didn't dissolve? Rikudo's brain kicks into overdrive. Dissolves flesh, but not synthetic fibers. Is this game logic? In an instant, a one-way ticket to death turns into a sliver of hope. All or nothing. Rikudo and Nishi execute a desperate combo move, tearing the slimy monster right off their friend. Kodon watches in shock. Did these two just cheat death itself? Tried magic, it's useless. Physical attacks? Barely a tickle. Nishi yells fire, then realizes, where the heck do we find fire in the apocalypse? Just as hope dies, Kuju arrives. She whips out a freaking pocket alcohol burner from her bag. The science nerd comes prepared for anything. Her backpack is a survival kit. A blast of fire, and the monster evaporates. Rikudo finally understands. The rules of the game are the rules of this nightmare. Meanwhile, Uyama-sensei is still preaching wait for rescue. Right on cue, the world outside explodes. Rescue isn't coming. The streets are a hunting ground, swarming with monsters. Yet, Rikudo and his crew don't back down, carving a path through the carnage with sheer will. Destination: AO Shopping Mall, their only hope for the phone repair parts. Kodon volunteers to drive, and her stick shift skills shock even Rikudo. The apocalypse really brings out hidden talents. Saito insists on tagging along, claiming it's to protect Kodon, but his eyes hold nothing but jealousy and calculation. He's a ticking time bomb. The mood in the car is heavy. Nobody wants to die, but the road ahead is a black void. This time, they've truly floored the accelerator, heading straight toward a judgment they can't predict. Pedal to the metal, streets blurring by. Adrenaline is pumping, but none of them realize it yet. An even deadlier hunt is waiting just ahead. Back at school, Uyama-sensei has snapped completely. Corpses pile on the roof while he plays his tyrant games. He rages and threatens, banning any mention of Rikudo's name, as if the mere word is a threat to his fragile power. In the apocalypse, humanity rots faster than the monsters. And in the city's shadows, even more brutal predators have begun to stir. Crimson eyes gleam in the darkness. Rikudo's crew is still on the run when they plow straight through a monster. The sickening sensation. Kodon thinks, is this car my bizarre new hunting tool now? Just as they catch their breath, a true nightmare appears in the rear view. A hulking black silhouette with burning red eyes, giving chase. Kodon panics. We can't ram this thing to death. Rikudo makes a call. Change route. Head for convenience store for supplies. From the corner, Saito smirks, his contempt for this leader's decision dripping from every pore. Arguments erupt in the van. Some accuse Rikudo of playing hero, others try to mediate. Saito watches from the sidelines, coldly calculating. Is the destination even safe? Where's the food? One wrong step here, and it's game over. Nishi silences them all. The apocalypse has no right answers. Only choices, and you bet everything on them. So, toward the store they go. But is it a lifeline or a trap? 5 minutes later, they pull up to the store. Shelves are trashed, but cans remain. Salvation is within reach until Rikudo freezes. Wait, that sound. Something's off. Deep in the warehouse, a stockpile. It's too neat, too perfect. And that smell, overwhelming blood. Rikudo's hair stands on end. This isn't supplies. It's bait. A cardboard box labeled Yamada bread. Sato's cronies' eyes light up with greed. He lunges for it. I saw it first. The ugliness of human nature flashes in an instant. On the floor, for words scrawled in blood. Danger, monsters, stay away. Too late. The warning was under their feet, and they ignored it. Death has been waiting patiently inside that box. The greedy fool wrenches the box open. What's inside? Not bread. A pair of bloodthirsty, red eyes snap open. It's a mimic, a boss straight out of video game, made terrifyingly real. Just as Rikudo confirms the monster's identity, agony rips through Sato's voice. A scream echoes. Kodon cries out in the car. Lizardmen patrols have surrounded them outside. Trapped between monsters. The real hunt begins. Lizardmen smash through the window, grabbing Kodon. Inside and out, hell breaks loose simultaneously. Nishi and Rikudo watch, powerless, separated by the battlefield. Rikudo sprints toward the car, pursued by the mimic's whipping tentacles. It has to be. Video game monsters are real. In that instant, terror and horrifying understanding collide. Nishi and Rikudo hide in the shadows, watching a full squad of lizardmen surround their vehicle. 5 of them. Outnumbered, a head-on fight is suicide. They can only wait, but can their friends inside afford to? There's no more time. The lizardmen smash the window. Kodon's scream is the signal. Nishi notches an arrow, his eyes steeled. Rikudo, it's now or never. The 3 of us. We fight our way out. The final battle begins. Rikudo, Nishi, and Saito rush out, facing a horde of monsters, grinning with anticipation, ready to welcome their desperate last stand. Rooftop bloodbath. Surrounded by swarming lizard monsters, Rikudo stands his ground. He screams for Tachibana and Kuju to run, ready to throw his own life away as bait. Anything to buy them time. But is 1 against 3 the limit? No, it's sheer despair. Trapped in a ring of spears, Rikudo's hope dwindles. Just then, the door explodes inward. Reinforcements are here. In a flash, Nishi's arrows tear through the air like meteors. At the same moment, the mysterious white-haired man, Yamauka, weaves arcs of death with a single short blade. The battle goes from 0 to 100 in an instant. Total annihilation. A last-second miracle. As Rikudo's team collapses from exhaustion, new survivors emerge from the streets and ISE and his group, waving frantically, carrying a new sliver of hope. A safe house? Staring at the garish pink Love Hotel, everyone's jaws drop. But Senpai Yamauka simply shrugs. It's stocked, it's defensible. In the apocalypse, survival trumps embarrassment every single time. Info exchange. Phone monsters are less active by day, targeting populated areas. Bad news. Another elite student, Saito, shows up with clear hostility. But what weighs on Rikudo's mind are the dark rumors IC shares about his savior, Yamauka. The rumors claim Senpai Yamauka was a genuine hardcore delinquent. Violence, Yakuza ties, even blood on his hands. Staring at the steady, reliable man who saved ISC, Rikudo wrestles with the question, which version do I believe? Mission objective. Fix the phone, contact the outside world. But everyone knows the target. The shopping mall AO is a lion's den. A tense strategy session begins within the hotel walls. Senpai Yamauka drops the command squarely on Rikudo's shoulders. I'm a soldier. Use me as you see fit. Under immense pressure, Rikudo and the team begin plotting their route with agonizing caution. This time, failure is not an option. Days of repeated scouting, multiple close calls. Through sheer teamwork, they carve a precarious safe route straight through the monster-infested city, right to the doors of AO. The real trial is about to begin. Oh, we're here. Gazing up at the massive structure, eerie energy pulses flicker in the air. ISE's legs are shaking, but Senpai Yamauka trembles with battle-hungry excitement. Everyone combat mode, engage. While Rikudo's team fights for survival, the survivors at school are sliding into deeper despair. Food is gone, hope is fading, and their supposed protector, Teacher Uyama, sheds his human skin under the pressure of hunger and fear. How ugly can humanity get? Teacher Uyama provides the answer. Mocking Rikudo's team as Monster Chow, he then bares his fangs at a girl, Inomoto, begging for food, a demand so vile it turns the stomach. Inside AO, the silence is deafening. Their experience screams that this isn't safety, but the mark of something far worse, a field boss, an FOE. It's lurking right here, in the shadow of this quiet. A puzzle emerges. Why do all the monsters look like they escaped from a video game? Goblins, wyverns, hellhounds, as if some rule governs them all. No time to dwell. Priority 1. Find parts to fix the phone. Split into teams. Kuju excitedly finds the perfect memory card for her magic modification. Meanwhile, Rikudo, exploring alone, spots a familiar-looking warning note stuck to a vending machine. Get rid of the E on top of the head. As Rikudo puzzles over it, the ground beneath him erupts. A colossal being of stone, a golem, bursts forth with a single command. Eliminate. The fight explodes into being. Blunt force is useless. Rikudo's heavy blows bounce off the golem like mosquito bites. In return, a single punch sends him flying, smashing through walls. This thing's power and speed are off the charts. At the last second, Senpai Yamauka strikes. A thunderous fist smashes into the golem, sending stone flying. But the monster only staggers. Its core remains intact. Where's its weak point? 2 against 1. The slugfest continues. Senpai Yamauka's fists are a storm. Rikudo probes for openings. But the golem's defense is flawless. Drawn-out combat turns against them. Yamauka gets hurt. The tide is turning for the worse. Rikudo finds a crucial note. Get rid of the E on top of the head. The meaning escapes him, but in the next moment, the entire building shakes with a deafening roar. His eyes widen, a frantic connection snapping into place in his mind. Asterisk, that's it. The legend, asterisk. Fall back. He screams at Yamauka, but it's too late. This new threat is no pushover. A colossal stone gargoyle, a golem, has Yamauka pinned under its foot. Attack after attack, blades clashing on stone with a mighty groan, only to be deflected. Its defense is insane. One hit. One focused strike, and the gargantuan threat shatters into a pile of rubble. His teammates burst in, only to see Rikudo standing amidst the wreckage. What's that noise? A golem. He remembers it now. A truly ancient and terrifying legend. The legend says a golem's life is tied to the word carved on its forehead. Emeth, meaning truth. To stop it, you have to remove the E. Turn the word from truth into death, meth. This is the decapitation the note warned about. Just as the revelation hits, a new disaster strikes. The ceiling above them shatters, a massive chunk of rock plummeting straight for the group. Rikudo's heart lurches. Tachibana. She's right underneath it. But the true threat wasn't the debris. A shadow, colossal enough to clog the hallway, rises from the smoke. Purple energy gathers in its single eye, a cold, primordial command echoing from its core. Intruder detected. Eliminate. It's too damn high. Panting, Rikudo grips his weapon. The target is an unreachable E on the monster's towering forehead. In that moment of despair, a voice cuts through. It's his best friend. Leave it to me. Nishi steps up, weapon in hand, eyes blazing with newfound resolve. The E, right? I got this. The plan is failing. Nishi's arrows bounce harmlessly off the runic letter. This thing's toughness is unfair. Even worse, the energy sphere in its chest starts pulsating violently, charging up for a planet-cracking blast. That's the signal. Run. Everybody run. Rikuto Kuin. Tachibana's scream is swallowed by a cataclysmic wave of purple energy. In that instant, time itself seems to fracture. Visions of an ancient battlefield flash by, falling heroes, drowning champions. Is this where their desperate struggle ends? The aftermath is a nightmare. Nishi lies unconscious, a direct casualty of the blast. And the monster, it shoots lasers too. Looking at his battered friend, Rikudo grits his teeth. We have to move. Rally at the parking garage. The corridors separating them, however, is a death trap with a massive, aggressive landlord. How do they cross it? You want to die? Rikudo's roar silences the fearful whispers about abandoning Nishi. Even if I die, I won't leave him behind. The kid who used to take every punch now stands as their wall. Hoisting Nishi up, he turns and charges straight down the corridor toward the monster. As they flee towards certain doom, Saito, the one who's been acting strange for a while, pauses. He watches the golem lunge for the flickering flames down the corridor. A crazy, desperate plan crystallizes instantly in his mind. Heat. They're attracted to heat. Time's running out. Saito whirls around, his eyes now carrying a cold, determined fire. Tachibana, take the flare. Run. He hands her their only hope. If the enemy chases heat, then he'll just become the biggest, brightest target in the room. The desperate gambit is set. Tachibana, tears in her eyes, catches the flare gun, their lifeline. But hope slips through her fingers as literally the gun tumbles, falling into the dark abyss below. Estetikon. A new wave of despair crashes over them. Saito turns, no anger on his face, only the grim acceptance of a last resort. Seeing the others catching up, he yells at Rikudo, take her, protect Tachibana. Then he turns and runs, not away, but towards the monster's energy blast, a human flare meant to save the rest. Rikudo is blasted away. Watching Saito get swallowed by the purple explosion, the bully's old words echo in his ears. Asterisk, you're dead and worthless. Asterisk, every sacrifice, every fight, all of it seems to crumble in the face of that annihilating light. Was any of it ever worth it? Just as he's ready to surrender, a lone figure tears through the flaming wreckage and plows straight into him. It's Tachibana. She grabs his collar, tears and fury in her eyes. The Rikudo Koen I know, the one who'd never give up. Where's he? How could you just quit? Her words punch through his despair. Because we're still alive. The fire reignites in Rikudo's eyes. He scoops Tachibana up and roars to his stunned comrades. The most defiant, powerful command of the day. Because we're still standing. Counterattack. Now. The tides turn. A figure, seemingly just woken by all the commotion, stretches and surveys the carnage. Looking at the enormous monster, he just grins. Sorry about the mess. Fell asleep for a sec. Ihihe. The counterattack truly begins with a guy who literally just woke up to the apocalypse. The scattered pieces of their team are finally back together. Nishi, Kuju, everyone. The confusion is clearing. The plan is forming. The blade of their counterstrike is finally honed and ready. Rikudo steadies himself. All right, we're launching our counter. No rest for the wicked. They've barely defeated the Titan when a new threat arrives, scuttling, relentless from downstairs. the small golems. They slam against the door, a chaotic horde intent on overwhelming them. The battle's pace refuses to slow. Nishi, I'll draw its hate. You keep hitting that E. Rikudo yells their desperate plan. It requires a miracle. Land dozens of hits on the same tiny spot while dodging constant assaults. You idiot. You won't survive that long, the others plead. Even so, it's our only shot. Kuju, the quiet genius, steps forward. I can do something. Maybe. She's all nerves. The only one who doesn't hesitate is Nishi. Got it. I believe you. That absolute, simple trust is the spark she needed. Now, she can't not succeed. Roles are assigned. Yamauka Senpai goes to assist the front line. Kuju is assigned to her own special project. The girls retreat to a makeshift lab, watching Kuju trembling as she approaches the workbench. Her hands shake, but her eyes, they're burning with terrifying focus. In a lab, Kuju doesn't pray. She synthesizes, shaking beakers and mixing volatile chemicals with a surgeon's precision. One wrong move could level the whole building. But her hands are eerily steady now. Success? It's announced with a gentle shimmer of gold dust. I did it. The concoction is ready. Delivery? Ise Cohen, the enthusiastic ex-baseball player, flexes his arm. Leave it to me. I used to be an ace pitcher. He winds up and pitches the volatile glass bottle like a fastball, straight at the golem's head. Strike. The glass shatters on impact, mixing the contents violently on the monster's core. Acid, catalyst, and oil. The combination is instantly recognizable to any chemistry student. Nitroglycerin. Kaboom! The resulting explosion paints the hallway purple and obliterates half the monster in one go. When the dust settles, everyone is standing there, minds blown. Kuju is sweating bullets, trying to explain. There was nitroglycerin in there, so it might perhaps sort of be a component used in, say, dynamite. Her teammates just stare at her in stunned, reverent silence. Ise, the delivery boy, stands frozen under the collective, silent gaze of three terrifying seniors, Yamauka, Rikudo, and the rest. Their expressions are unreadably calm. The subtext is clear as day. Next time, listen to the full instructions, kiddo, or you might get a much harsher lesson. Finally stepping out of the blast zone, the sheer scale of the devastation hits them. The entire area is charred. Kuju-senpai, that explosion was a bit much, don't you think? Rikudo wipes sweat from his brow. Kuju could only offer a sheepish, nervous laugh. Their mission is over, concluded not by might, but by a terrifyingly beautiful display of explosive chemistry. But just as the group celebrates their return with food and supplies, no one notices the darkness brewing underneath. Teacher Uyama offers a surface-level welcome, but his mind is already racing with sinister calculations. Someone is missing. Saito, the former elite student, is being consumed by sheer jealousy and despair. On the desolate streets, he screams at a fate he sees as unbearably unfair. Resentment is the most potent fertilizer for evil. Saito's sanity completely shatters. He steps into forbidden ground and takes up a silver dagger sealed with a warning. He thinks it's power, not realizing it's simply an invitation to the abyss. The deal is struck. Saito's screams are the price for a surge of power and the loyalty of a red phantom monster. He has ascended in the most twisted sense imaginable. Meanwhile, Teacher Uyama is consolidating his kingdom. Seeing Rikudo and Nishi return alive, he sees only one thing, a loose end. They must be eliminated. Once that thought takes root, it festers. His carefully constructed reign of terror is cracking. Students are revolting, demanding food, questioning his authority. Uyama panics. The real trouble, he knows, has just begun. But what Rikudo's team brought back wasn't just supplies. Kuja managed to restore the internet. Yet, the connection to the outside world doesn't bring hope, but deeper despair. Beyond their school, humanity is already drowning in a sea of blood. Only scattered SOS signals point to a distant island city. It's the last desperate hope. Rikudo knows they must leave this hell. What they don't know is that the greatest hell is right here with them. A storm is brewing. As Rikudo announces their escape plan, rallying their spirits, Uyama's atrocities reach their horrific peak. The classroom has become a hunting ground, survivors his toys. A flashback reveals how far Uyama has fallen. Once a protector, he's now a brutal dictator, hoarding food and treating students like livestock. Any rebellion invites his special tutoring, the only educational tool being his bloodstained knife. Rebellion? He knocks the leader out cold, then educates everyone with his blade about the meaning of obedience. Corpses serve as the most effective textbook. The locker room becomes a microcosm of hell. Students watch as friends are stabbed, crushed underfoot. The former teacher has shed his humanity, revealing the monster underneath. Back in the present, Uyama carries an unconscious girl, swaggering back to his classroom where other girls are held captive. He looks at his cowering prey in the corner and smiles like a hunter. His kingdom persists, but he underestimated how quickly despair can turn. Inomoto, a girl he'd brutalized, finds him, fueled by vengeance. She musters her last strength and delivers the final blow to this beast. Note, this bridges the material between scene 18 and 19. Inomoto's revenge on the injured Uyama happens concurrently with the main conflict. Cutting back to the main plot, Uyama's kingdom still functions on fear, controlling the remaining boys. He thinks eliminating the last two troublemakers, Rikudo and Nishi, will secure his twisted paradise. So he crafts a trap. Another victim, Kasahara, realizes a maddening truth before her spirit shatters. If the world has ended, why not build her own? This insane notion drives her over the edge. Uyama lures Rikudo and Nishi away with the excuse of a private strategy meeting. His plan is brutal. Ambush and eliminate the two strongest in solitude. With them gone, the rest are just sheep for his harem. But Rikudo has been suspicious since the moment he returned. That inexplicable blood stain on Uyama's sleeve is the smoking gun. Uyama thinks he's setting a trap. He has no idea he's the one walking into an ambush. He leads them to a secluded spot. Now, Uyama lunges, grabbing a fire extinguisher and blasting it into their faces. He laughs maniacally, thinking victory is his. The smoke clears. Uyama is stunned. Rikudo and Nishi were ready for him. His meticulously planned ambush is exposed as a self-inflicted farce. "You dare make a fool of me?" he shrieks, his sanity fraying. But it's too late. Rikudo seizes the opening with a devastating punch that sends Uyama flying like a rag doll, smashing into the wall. The predator becomes the prey. Rikudo stands over him, delivering the cold verdict. "Uyama-sensei, you cross the line. That blood on your sleeve is the evidence of your crimes against your own students." Uyama tries to stutter a defense, but Nishi's arrow is already trained on his head. Karma has arrived. His kingdom collapses like paper against true warriors. Just when everyone thinks the nightmare is over, the real horror arrives. Saito returns, but the person who comes back is no longer Saito. He shows his former friends his rebirth, a pact with a myth summon system. With a gesture, he summons skeletal horrors from hell. His power has skyrocketed, but his eyes hold only a twisted hunger for control. His gaze locks on a Kodon, the girl he always secretly loved. Now, drunk on power, he makes his move. He declares his love, his tone of demand. "Koton, leave Rikudo. Come with me. I can give you everything." Everyone is frozen in shock. Saito, their former comrade, has become something more terrifying than any monster. Then, Kodon's reply shatters his last illusion. She faces him bravely, her voice trembling but firm. "No, Saito-kun, you're not you anymore. You have become the most terrifying monster of all." That's the final trigger. The last shred of Sato's sanity snaps. He lets out an inhuman roar. "Lies. All of you. D." His power rages out of control. Skeletal soldiers pour forth like a tide, crashing towards Rikudo and the others. An utterly one-sided battle of life and death explodes. While Rikudo's group was trapped in the school, a far greater storm was brewing on the other side of the city. That's what I call timing. The reinforcements are here. In the nick of time, ISC and his legendary senpai, Yamauka, descend from the heavens, sending a monster flying with a single punch. There's never just one. The stairwell instantly becomes a gateway to hell. Students are caught in a pincer attack, a total party wipe on the horizon. The guy with headphones raises his crossbow, giving everyone a dose of adrenaline. Forget everything else. If you want to live, fight. But these monsters are cunning. A feint. While it seems to lunge at the dark-haired girl, its real target is the blonde girl in the back. In a flash, she's violently swatted away, screaming in midair before she can even process it. Not a second to spare. A blade of light shreds the air. Rikudo arrives at the last possible moment, skewering the monster to the staircase with a single thrust. But before he can catch his breath, nightmare news. The whole lower floor? Crawling with those things. It's a dead end. Rikudo makes the call instantly, rallying everyone to the roof. It's their only way out. Just as another boy in the group was waiting for death in despair, a miracle happened. His phone suddenly lit up, a bizarre interface popping up. "Your job. Hero. Begin adventure." In this hellscape, who wouldn't want to be a hero? The moment he tremblingly presses yes, A holy blade forged for vanquishing evil materializes in his hand. Power surging forth. Awakening. His moment is here. With one slash, massive claw marks are etched into the wall. This kid, he really did become a hero. While some dream of being saviors in hell, others sever their final tether in reality. Inomoto, abused by the teacher, finally catches up to her traitorous friend. But Inomoto's clearly not right. Watching monsters trample the schoolyard, her mouth twists into a tearful, broken smile. This world is the worst. Let it just end. Meanwhile, on the grimy floor of a public restroom, Uyama-sensei, the former tyrant, is bound to a chair, snot and tears flowing as he fantasizes about ruling over survivors. He thinks he can make a comeback. Then, a stall door creaks open. Inomoto is here. The goddess of vengeance has found her sacrifice. Inomoto pulls out a knife, calmly recounting the ordinary dream of marriage she can no longer have. Each word is a death by 1,000 cuts. Uyama pleads in terror, but it's far too late. The cold blade plunges in, hot blood sprays. The spirits of those he killed, those unseen shadows, are crawling up from the depths of hell, come to claim his soul. Finally, amidst mad laughter and tears, Inomoto completes her revenge. The blood debt has been paid at least a little. Cut back to Rikudo. They fight their way to the roof, finally reuniting with other survivors. But before the celebration can even start, a taunting voice echoes, "I've been waiting, here again, Kun." The mastermind behind it all has been here all along. It's Saito. He stands smiling before the group, and behind him looms a skeletal monster radiating pure malevolence. He says it's his ally. Saito reveals his secret. He traded his own body to something called the Myth Summon System, a bug in this world, in exchange for the power to control monsters. On his command, a river of digital data pours from the sky. Creatures on the ground twist and contort before everyone's eyes, mutating into grotesque monsters. This is the true face of the apocalypse. Saito spreads his arms, proclaiming to all, with him here, humanity no longer needs to fear monsters, because he is their king. He will build a new world for himself and his followers alone. Gazing down at Kodon, he extends his invitation. Forget Rikudo, come to my side. He even admits it, the monster that attacked the classroom, the one that killed, he controlled it. This man is utterly insane. Faced with this mad confession, Kodon is in tears. Trembling, she speaks the cruelest, yet most sobering truth. Saito-kun, you're not human anymore. In her eyes, the man before her is more terrifying than any monster she's ever seen. Kodon's words are the final straw that breaks Saito. His sanity shatters completely. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Endless dark energy erupts from his core, engulfing the entire courtyard. The fusion of jealousy and madness is born. Saito fully mutates into a nightmarish skeletal giant. His target is clear: kill Kirigane Rikudo. Rikudo takes a devastating blow head-on to shield Kodon. He coughs up blood, his body flying like a cannonball into the brick wall. The final blow lands, and the monster presses its advantage. In that critical moment, Kodon and the others rush to pull Rikudo back. But as they gather around him, his chest is still. There's no breath, no pulse.